My brother Roger and Virginia, the girl he loved, were retarded. They were also smart, funny, tough, stubborn, and very determined to get married. The trouble was, nobody else shared their enthusiasm. In their romance, as in their lives, they were bucking the odds all the way.
Welcome to the Shaun Squad Society podcast with your hosts, myself, Cindy,
Doris,
Dame Madonna,
where we invite you to share in our enthusiasm and reminisce about all things Shaun Cassidy.
from his teen idol days to his recent adventures back on the road again.
please join us for the stories and memories that connected us to those happy days that helped create the Shaun Squad Society podcast.
Hey, Doris, do you remember back in the 70s that movie of the week they used to have?
Oh, yeah. On TV, the movie of the week would come on once a week and they would show something.
On ABC.
I think all the networks did it, but yeah, of course, we were big ABC watchers, so we only saw the ones on ABC. I remember those movies. I think I used to watch them all the time, but I thought they used to show them because there was nothing else on their programming for that month.
Oh, right.
So they said, hey, let's just put some movies in to show something. And I used to enjoy them.
And it was about an interesting subject every time.
Yes.
You know, they wanted to mean something with that movie of the week.
I don't know if I got it then that they were like interesting, more, stories that meant something. But, looking back now, I realized that is kind of what they were doing.
Well, we did focus on it in 1979 because a special movie came out.
Yeah. Shaun Cassidy and Linda Pearl.
Yeah, can you believe that? I was surprised by it.
They did like normal people.
Yep.
Now, anybody who was a Shaun Cassidy fan in the 70s knew the Do-Ron-Ron and the Hardy Boys. Nobody was expecting
Nobody saw this coming.
Nobody.
No.
He turned around and did a movie based on a real-life couple and their challenge with getting married because they were mentally challenged back then.
Yes.
And you know what, Cindy? For a second, let's talk about this. They called them retarded.
I know. Bad word.
And when I watched the movie and I first heard the mom use that term, retarded, Roger's mom, there were Roger and Virginia Myers, I was like cringing. Because in today's world, you don't use the term.
You don't use that word.
They call them developmentally delayed.
Or intellectually challenged?
Intellectually challenged.
There's
but
different
it's
words,
certainly
but
not retarded.
Not retarded, no.
And to hear it, and I almost turned the movie off because I'm like, can I watch this? That's going to be hard to watch. But it kept going, and the movie grabbed me that the outdated phrase didn't seem to bother me so much anymore.
Right. And even though we knew Shaun Cassidy was in it, I was glued to it for the story because I didn't know what to expect.
Right. Back then, I certainly didn't know what to expect, and it's been all of those years since I've seen it.
I mean, we're dealing with Shaun Cassidy as a teen idol, and now he's in this movie about something totally different. And it just threw us all off, I think, because I wasn't really expecting this.
Yeah, he took this dramatic turn.
Yes.
Before he was known as Joe Hardy. And, singing and going around doing his concerts.
Mm-hmm.
And then this opportunity came up, And it gave him an opportunity to get out of that stereotype, if you will, as a bubblegum pop artist.
But I didn't expect him to be so serious so soon, I think is what I was confused about. I really didn't know he would do this kind of character at this point in his career, but I think he did a great job with it.
We did a little research, and it says he intentionally chose it early in his career. He actively pursued more serious roles. And that project was a deliberate move to distance him from his bubblegum pop fame.
Yep.
He did that on purpose.
Right. Which, of course, any person that's creative wants to be diverse.
Yes.
Sing, act, different things. And I think Shaun was thinking about, I don't know if he was thinking about being a writer at that point, but stories, he's a storyteller.
Correct. And maybe because he said he always was a storyteller. So maybe in the back of his mind, he thought, this role, it's a very good story.
It's a real life story of this couple. And back then in the 70s, to really fight for your independence when you have a disability, this was new.
Well, I think it really took place in the 60s.
Probably.
Roger seemed to have grown up in the 50s and 60s.
Right.
His brother, his real-life brother, Robert Meyer, wrote the book based on their story. And Robert Meyer is in the movie. His character is called Bobby. So Bobby was definitely Roger's brother. And the movie starts, you could tell it's in the late or mid-50s because they show Roger as a little baby and the grandmother is looking at him and there's something not right.
Right.
And she tells her daughter, have you noticed? And the daughter is all like in denial.
And I don't know back
mom.
then, I don't know if they did pediatrics in stages, like developmental stages.
Right.
I know today they do that, but back then in the 50s, I don't know if they had developmental milestones.
I don't think they had come. I wouldn't know. I've never had a kid, and I certainly wasn't born or around in the 50s, but I don't think they had come that far yet.
Yeah, because my kids, I remember that, like at each age, they have to have some kind of developmental stage they're at.
I remember in the movie, the grandma asking her daughter about Roger, and she said, I take him to the doctor, and his doctor says he's perfectly healthy. So they were looking at his physical health, not his developmental health.
Right. Physically, he looked like a normal baby.
Yes.
But I think, moms have instincts about kids.
Yeah.
And she had an instinct.
Yeah. And so they
pursued that.
They pursue it, and they find out, yes, he does have what they called then mental retardation.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can watch. but it turned out that it didn't stop him. In fact, he just seemed to soar. He went to camp, and they discovered at camp that he was really good at writing. He wrote poetry that you would think a grown adult person wrote. And this was a kid in camp. He was bullied.
I didn't like those scenes.
Yeah. But his camp counselors were like, this is not bad of a kid that's mentally retarded. And one of the voiceovers, I remember his mom, they put in these little voiceover parts. His mom saying, had he gone a little bit the other way, he would have been a genius.
Right?
He was right there.
So he must have been higher up on the spectrum.
Right. So they show Roger grow up with the help of his brother Bobby. He got through some tough times at night. I really like
Poor Bobby, though.
I like the scenes when Roger was a real little boy and Bobby just wanted to go to sleep, but Roger had to hold his hand to go to sleep.
Yes.
I mean, Bobby just had to hold Roger's hand.
So he knew somebody was there.
Yeah. So he grew up and he went to school and he learned. He actually did well, I guess. Because they show him later as an older, like out of high school age teenager. And now the mom, there's a lot of sub-stories.
Yes, there are. between him and his brother, the parents, the facility.
So I guess the mom had kind of gotten into drinking too much because the pressure was too much.
But people didn't know how to handle it back then. There was no support.
There was a need for a lot of money. There certainly wasn't a lot of financial help through the government. So she was saying she couldn't do it, and the doctor was saying, let's put Roger in a state-run institution.
Right.
And the dad said, let's go to L.A. And they said, and Roger wrote a little poem. Well, his mom said, L.A. will be okay. And Roger said, Mom, you wrote a poem. L.A. will be okay. So I guess they went to L.A. And
he had some cute little scenes there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was good. And then they showed, I believe after that, they showed Shaun as an adult. Or was he still a teenager when he worked at the YMCA?
So they get to LA and he's about 19.
Okay, so he was, working by then.
And he got his own job.
Yeah.
I guess he got tired of sitting around the house, so he would go to the Y every day. And one day he asked this guy, can I help you with anything? And he did so good with putting those towels away, the guy gave him a job.
Yeah. He was well into being independent and making money.
And
he didn't think twice about that.
Everything. And he came home, Mom, I got a job all by myself. He was so proud of himself. And he did so well that they let him do like the coin, giving out change at the little dance they had.
Yes, they had a little dance too. That was cute.
And I guess younger kids were at the dance. And this girl, she comes up and she kind of crushes on Roger. And she tells him, everybody makes fun of you, but I think you're cute. And she mentions that she loves Donny Osmond.
Oh, okay.
And she said, who do you like? And he said, Elton John.
Ah.
Now, that made me stop and think. I wonder if Roger really liked Elton John or if Shaun put of himself in there.
Because Shaun has a connection with Elton John and Bernie Taupin.
He loved Elton John.
Yes.
All along. So I'm like, I wonder if they took a little creative liberty there.
I wonder. Yes.
But he had a crush on that little girl, and he wanted to send her a Valentine. And what happened there, Cindy?
Oh, yeah, with the Valentine. I believe he got in trouble because they thought he wrote her a nasty card.
It was a letter with words that they said, and the term they used was pornographic.
Yes.
And it was obviously bad enough that the FBI had to get involved because at the time Roger was considered an adult and she was a minor.
Right.
So he mailed a card that was completely innocent.
Yes.
But another classmate of hers mailed this horrible letter.
Yep.
And they come to Roger at his little job at the Y, and they accuse him of all these horrible things.
Yep.
And the mom, of course, goes to the police station.
Oh, she comes to his rescue.
And she's all over it.
She's all over that. My son doesn't even know these words, He's developmentally delayed. How does he know these words they're using in this letter?
And if you would have thought about it, you would know that, she tells him.
Yep.
And again, the term retarded shows up, and Roger hears it. And maybe that was the first time he ever heard his mom.
Yeah, because he asked his mom, am I retarded?
Yep.
Because he never thought that.
Yep. And she was so apologetic for saying that. And that was another part that really touched me, because that back then they just wanted to pin anything horrible on a person that seemed less able to defend themselves.
They targeted them, and totally not fair, but that's what they did back then.
And Roger wasn't even, like he said, I don't know what this means, and his mom.
Yeah.
And everybody came to his rescue, and of course it turned out okay. But do you remember one scene when Roger said, Mom, is the boy who wrote that letter retarded? And his mom said, no, Roger, he's perfectly normal.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, how in the world, in today's world, that kid would not have been told that the boy who wrote that letter is perfectly normal, because obviously that kid was disturbed in another way.
Right. And I'm only thinking about how the mom is thinking as she's saying this to him. No, Roger, he was normal. Like,
See, the term normal, let's talk about that a second.
Into me.
The term normal, the whole movie is about Roger and Virginia wanting to be treated like normal people.
And have rights.
In today's world, that term normal is so loose, because what's normal?
Right.
Oh, you have all kinds of people that have done all kinds of things to get their rights to be who they are. The LGBTQ movement.
Right.
And all of those have changed the way the word normal is used.
Right.
So when his mom said, no, Roger, he's perfectly normal, I went, oh, that wouldn't fly today.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's not.
And Roger has this look on his face like, I don't know, does he know what normal is? Because he didn't know he was retarded.
Right. He only knew normal from the standards of what they taught him. And so that's when I first started thinking how the movie is different today than if they were to do it today than they did it back then.
Yeah. But I don't think they did a movie back then about this issue. This is like brand new subject in that era.
Because
nobody talked about it.
They didn't have rights. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
The people, Roger and Virginia, played by Shaun and Linda Pearl, did not have normal, basic human right to get married. At the end of the show, it said, in 1979, when that movie ended, it said 25% of the states in the United States outlawed marriage between retarded people.
Really?
A quarter of the states in the United States. So this movie drastically came in and started changing.
Yes, and also ABC invested heavily in socially conscious TV films. This was part of it.
Yes.
And these movies were often sparked public discussion with these movies. Like, people really talked about it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So now you have this on the table. Now it's on the table.
Now it's on the table.
I remember in the movie someone touched on a little bit that they confused their mental challenges with the behavior of psychosis.
Oh, wow.
They thought, like they said, they thought these people were having babies and burning them.
What?
That was in the movie.
I never heard it. Oh, wow.
And I said, what?
That's crazy.
They confused developmental issues with true psychotic issues. And they thought that people with these challenges shouldn't be allowed to marry or have children.
Yeah.
Because they would burn their kids.
Oh, my gosh.
Can you believe that?
Oh, boy. We've come a long way since then.
So, this man, I forget the name of the house that the mom bought. She wanted Roger to go live in this more like a...
semi-independent. Yeah. Like assisted living type of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she fought to get him in there.
Yeah.
And he got in. Remember when he first got there, he didn't want to be there?
Yeah.
He got out of the car. It's raining. I don't want to be here. Well, let's give it a chance.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to be here. Well, let's go in. Nope, don't want to be here. And then what changed his mind?
Well, he met somebody there.
Who did he meet?
He met a girl. She was, she out there planting flowers or something? She was working in the garden?
She was doing some kind of art. It was a bunny.
Yes. Yes. That's where her nickname came from. He called her Bunny.
And he walked up to her and he said, "Is that Bugs Bunny?" And she said, "It's Mrs. Bugs Bunny." And looked at Elma, walked away. I said, "You go, girl."
She got an attitude too. Yeah. They're great together.
So,
right back at you.
Now, there's a counselor who was trying to convince Roger, maybe you want to give us a chance, Roger. Let's see. I'll let you work with me. You can help me with the other kids. And he was not feeling it until he met the girl, and he said, "Well, who's the girl?" And the counselor said, "That's Virginia. And if you stay, I'll have her show you around tomorrow." And okay, I'm staying.
There you go. You're in. All you have to do is have a girl show up.
Just right there. And I'm like, "Oh, Roger, he's not leaving now."
He's not leaving now. He has a purpose.
Yeah.
So that's how it started.
That's how they met. They met at the, like you said, the assisted living, and they got to hang out and play games in the game room and watch movies or TV. Right. Roger was teasing her. Now, Roger had sort of a sense of humor.
Oh, he does.
He was teasing her, and he comes up to her while she's planting flowers and said, "I'm going to ask a girl to the dance tonight." And she was like, "Oh, Roger, what girl?" He said, "A very pretty girl." "Oh, Roger." And he said, "The prettiest girl here."
And she has no idea.
And she wasn't getting
She has no idea what he's talking about.
And that's when he told her.
What girl? Yeah.
Yep, it was her.
It was her.
I thought that was cute. I'm like, Roger is a little bit of a nuisance. He could be funny and just,
Yes, he could be. But like you said, he's higher up on the spectrum, so he's got, personality there.
Yeah. So they met. They fell in love. The whole movie is about them connecting and falling in love and fighting even in the living space for their
what happens there.
They wanted to be like a couple, a normal couple. And the lady tells them, "You guys can't be going around holding hands."
Well, they started kissing.
And kissing.
Yeah, they started kissing. They started holding hands. And the people there were like, what is this? What is this behavior?
And,
what is going on here?
And Roger said, "Well, I guess we're going to have to go and do it a way where people can't see us because we're not stopping."
Remember, the lady pulled them in the office.
Right, that's the lady.
Yeah, they had to sit down, serious talk, and the lady's like, "You can't do that.
You cannot be doing that."
And what does he say?
He said,
"Why?
Yeah.
Why can't we do that?"
Yes, he wanted a real legitimate reason.
Because she's like, "It doesn't look good." He's like, "Why? Other people do it. They're not doing something that other people don't do." He couldn't figure it out.
And that's what he said. We just want to, and again, the term came up. He said, "We just want to be like normal people."
I think he's the first one that said it in the movie. He said that movie line.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We just want to be like normal people.
They hold hands.
They hold hands. They kiss.
Why can't we?
Because we're not going to stop kissing. Mrs. Peterson, we're not children. We're people. And when normal people love each other, they hold hands and they kiss. That's what Virginia and me are going to be. We are going to be like normal people.
And then the lady, I guess, had no answer because they were holding hand and kissing.
But I'm glad they stood their ground.
Yes.
Instead of saying, "Oh, okay, we're not going to do that." They were like, "No, this is what we want to do." And they know other people can do it. Why can't they do it?
Roger had a very independent way of thinking.
The whole time.
The whole time.
I give his parents credit for that too, because I'm sure they were always supporting him.
Yes.
And they let him become independent. They let him become like a normal person.
Yeah.
So he couldn't figure out why these other people were saying they couldn't.
Because remember his mom told him, you're going to be somebody.
Mm-hmm.
She always wanted more for him. And that kind of touches on a little bit about his brother Bobby, because they did work harder with Roger.
Right.
And poor Bobby had dreams and aspirations. Yeah. And he kind of felt like he wasn't getting the support he was deserving.
Yeah, I mean, he was there too to support his brother like his parents did. But then, yeah, other kids in the family wanted to have some attention too. Right. I mean, he understood his brother had disabilities, but where was his attention?
Where was his? And that night when Roger, the mom wanted Bobby to help Roger get this deal with this book agent. And Bobby said, but Mom, I've got the agent, I'm meeting with the agent for me. I have always wanted to be a writer, but nobody asked me.
Right.
And the dad said, Bobby, you don't need help. And he said, whatever gave you that idea. Mm-hmm. And that's when I knew they weren't going to make a deal of it, but maybe Bobby wasn't getting all the support.
Right. So bring it to his parents' attention. This is how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
You know, I love my brother. I help my brother, but I'm your kid too.
Yes.
Where's my attention?
So he was so independent, Roger. He just had this strong will, this independence. And he was like, I'm going to marry Virginia. I'm marrying me some Virginia. Ain't nobody going to stop me either.
Right. That's right. And then they had to go to counseling and all that too. And, they bring up scenarios and what happens, if you get a fire or what happens this. They try to challenge them and see where they're at, what they're thinking.
Did you notice that Roger was more of the strong, even with his challenges, more back then the stereotype breadwinner strong guy.
Yeah.
He went out, found himself a job as a busboy to earn the money to buy that ring that he was determined to give.
Oh, yeah. He knew that he had to work. He did not think that he wasn't capable.
But he couldn't clean the house to save his life. And he was a slob. And Virginia was excellent at that.
Some regular married people are like that too.
Yeah. That's what the counselor said.
Yeah.
Because the head guy at the house, at the assistant house where they lived, he didn't want Roger and Virginia to get together. He just didn't want to. And it comes out later why, but he had these problems with that. And Roger's counselor said, well, if it's because he's a slob and he can't cook that well, then half of the men in America are retarded.
Yes.
Because that's how they are.
On a regular level, yeah, that's what it is.
And I was like, but look at how for that day they had their role, even as husband and wife. Roger was always going to be the one to go out and work, and Virginia was going to be the one to stay home because she was good at it.
Yep.
She had to teach him how to clean up and cook and everything.
They were good together.
That one line, Virginia said, Roger, I don't know if I can do this. It's going to be hard. And Roger said, yeah, it's hard doing it separately, but it's easier when we do it together. Mm-hmm. So all of that hard stuff was a lot easier doing it together.
He made her see things, I guess, more clearly. He was pretty good in his thoughts.
This is what I'm saying. I'm like, that came from Roger?
Yeah.
That?
See?
I mean, no, you can't do long division, but he's so very in tune to everything and everybody.
Yep. Right, so they go along and they end up getting married. And there's one scene at the wedding. It was funny. The priest is, doing the ceremony and Roger's like, but tell him this about her.
Tell him she's my bunny. Okay, Roger says that Virginia is his bunny.
So he cut in 3 times or something like that. And then finally the priest is like, I just have to get moving on in this ceremony. But it was so cute that he wanted all this put in with his ceremony with her. It was very, very cute. Very, endearing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And they had it was like normal people wedding.
Yeah.
It was a nice looking
She had
wedding.
a beautiful dress.
Beautiful dress, because they never explained why she was being raised by her aunt, I think. The lady that called her the name.
Because she was opposed to this too.
Yes.
She didn't want her getting married. So then the parents had a meeting and they had a talk with each other. And then I think at one point, Roger's parents were like, okay, I think we had enough of this, because her aunt was being so negative.
Well, what happened, that was happening. The aunt was being real negative, and the mom gets up, and Roger's mom walks by the window, and Roger goes over and says, Mom, remember you always told me you want me to be somebody one day? He said, I am somebody. I'm a man.
Yeah.
And she broke down and hugged him. Yeah. And that's when everybody gave Roger the blessing. I'm telling you, that guy, Roger Myers, for his challenges, was so above. He thought better than most of the men I knew at that age.
Exactly. Yeah, he was very level-headed. And like I said, whatever his parents did raising him, they just supported him, and he developed into like a normal person.
Yes. So the whole movie is about them getting married.
Right.
So they convince everybody that they should. Even his counselor convinces the head guy that they should get married. Because that head guy didn't even want them to reproduce. He wanted to take away her reproduction.
And he didn't want them living there either, because I thought there was some liability on his end.
He
right?
Said,
There's some liability if they lived there. Something happened, then he would get in trouble for it.
But the laws were changing.
Right.
So the counselor said, they're going to live here, and if you try to put them out, I'm going to have... And he started naming all those organizations that would be on him.
He was 100%, on the other side,
Yeah. So they finally get married, and they had their wedding, their reception. And the mom, and she's like not able to let go. She's following them around. Their reception was in the hotel where they were going to spend their honeymoon night.
Yes, I love the honeymoon night when they go to the front desk. Wasn't that hilarious?
It was hilarious.
The parents followed them there. They were unsure if they should leave them alone or not.
Right.
So they go to the desk, and they get their room. And they say their goodbyes to their parents. They go in the elevator. And the parents are like, oh, no, the son's like, hey, we should leave them alone. We should go and let's get out of their hair. And then they come back down the elevator. And the parents are probably like, oh, yeah, see, something happened already. Yes, there's already a problem. What's going on? And Roger and Virginia charged to the desk, and there's a problem. They
banged on the bell, and the guy comes. And I think the guy did it on purpose because he thought, who's going to know?
Who's going to catch it, right?
He goes, Roger said, we paid for a room with the view, and all we see is a wall.
Yes, he demanded it.
And Virginia said, we paid a lot of money, and we don't want to look at a wall.
Right.
And
they called him out.
And the guy said, oh, I'm so sorry, sir. Didn't mean to do that. And he gives him another room.
Mm-hmm.
And
cleared that up.
Roger, I noticed this specifically. Roger didn't say thank you. He took his key and said, yeah, like you better give me a room. You don't want me to come back there. And they walk quietly back to the elevator. And Mom, Dad, everybody like, I guess we can go now.
Yeah, they're fine by themselves. They know how to handle things. We're good here.
And the movie ends. And
the movie ends.
It was a really good movie.
Yes. And to this day, they're still married.
Very much so.
I don't think they had kids or anything like that.
Well, Virginia, I was so proud of her. It was so funny. Virginia made the choice because Roger told Virginia, I want a lot of kids and I'm not changing my mind. They were outside on the beach.
Yes.
And Virginia said, well, you can't do it by yourself.
They figured that out.
I was cracking up.
Needs to be a union.
But they knew, Virginia actually sat and thought about the challenges that they would have if they tried to have a kid.
Right. They did think that through.
And she went, because they showed a scene. She went by herself, or maybe somebody went with her, but she came home by herself. And he said, "Are you all done at the doctor?" So I guess she had her tubes tied. And she couldn't have babies.
But they came to that decision themselves.
Yes.
Not somebody else talking them into it.
Not that guy talking about take her and have her reproductive rights taken away from her.
Totally wrong.
But you notice, they didn't say take Roger and give him a vasectomy.
Oh, that's true.
It was all about taking away Virginia's reproductive rights.
They should have both went in.
Yeah. If anybody...
To be fair.
To be fair, but no, that's not what the man said. But they didn't do it. And Virginia and Roger, I think Virginia was the level-headed one in that discussion. And she said, "Well, Roger, this is how it's going to go."
That's what they decided on.
Yeah.
But it was all their decision. This is the way they wanted their life to go. And this whole movie just brought to the forefront of these issues.
Yes.
So, the story, it was a strong advocate for independent living for people like this.
Yes.
So this couple's experience was used to challenge assumptions that people with intellectual disabilities were incapable of marriage or even any adult responsibility.
They didn't want them to live on their own. The first answer was institutionalize.
Yes.
That's all they want. That's what they wanted to
they didn't
do
know how
with
to,
Roger.
Right. They didn't know how to handle it, but so much more research came out since then, and now they can.
And then the financial aid for this type of support started becoming available.
Yeah, there was a Rehabilitation Act of 1973 that prohibited discrimination based on disability in federally funded programs. So they got funded for that.
That's great. That's when it all started. That's kind of hard to believe that it was in our young life that this all started.
Right.
I was all of 10 years old, 11 years old. So that means, well, I'm not all that surprised because I remember hearing the story about John F. Kennedy's sister who was a little bit rambunctious, and he was running for president. And she kept sneaking outside of her little boarding school because she liked boys. And she liked sneaking out at night and going out with the boys.
Why not?
And some doctor told them they didn't know about, and maybe she did have some other things that they just weren't aware of. And this doctor told them there's this new procedure called a lobotomy. They messed that girl up for life. She lived the rest of her life institutionalized.
Oh, my goodness.
Because they gave her a frontal lobotomy because Joe Kennedy felt his son was running for president. They can't have this girl in the news.
Right.
Oh, that's bad press. My son can't be associated with his sister sneaking out of the girls' school at night.
Yeah, and those lobotomies, what a crazy way to treat something.
This is what they did.
Try to take it out of your brain.
They either gave them a lobotomy or put them in an institution.
Yeah.
And that is that went on, obviously, until the early 70s.
Yeah, but in the 70s, disability began to be framed as a civil rights issue now, and not just a medical or charitable concern. It's a civil right issue now. So that all came about in the 70s, yeah.
Well, that's because people like Roger Meyer's parents who started standing up and fighting and said, no, I'm not going to throw my son in some state hospital.
Right. Yeah, I mean, even though their case wasn't a landmark Supreme Court case, it really symbolized the same principle that adults with disabilities can have the same rights as other people with decision-making, things like that, including marriage. They can be married.
And then the discussions got wide open where they started categorizing and saying, just because I'm this way doesn't mean I'm a psychotic maniac or anything. Right. So they like you said, the spectrum. They started giving that term, like how far on the spectrum are you?
Right.
And then maybe you're this, but this person is this. And
And they also ended sterilization policies too.
Right.
Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Make that their decision. And not your decision.
Because I'm telling you, that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
They were hysterectomy and everything else, whatever they were doing. So these women could not have babies.
Right. And it's not been proven either that people with these disabilities would have a baby with the same disability.
Exactly.
That might not even happen.
That got touched on in the movie. They said it's not a genetic disorder.
Right.
This man is not passing this down to his kids.
Right, because remember, Virginia told Roger that something happened when she was born with that forceps, and he had her touch the back of her head. So she had a birth issue. This happened with a birth issue, not genetics.
And they never said what happened with Roger.
Right.
But it was...
But Virginia had a forceps accident.
Yes. And back then, they were taking a lot of babies with forceps. So God knows how many kids were running around with these challenges.
You hear about the cord around your neck and they don't have the oxygen they need.
Yeah.
That could cause some a brain disorder or brain, defect.
They say a lot of cerebral palsy is from birth accidents.
Exactly. So there's many different reasons. It's not all genetics, but that had to come out too down the line.
Yeah.
When they had to find that out that, okay, this isn't just this, that you just were born genetically like this, something else happened.
Yes.
That affected your brain.
And that's when all of it, and then they couldn't discriminate against living. Then it got to the job. They had equal rights there. And
they reformed guardianship laws. They supported decision-making rather than total control. I mean, the whole thing just got rearranged.
That's just great. And I think I applaud Shaun here all these years later
me too.
For taking that role.
Yeah, I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, I enjoyed watching it. And I learned a lot with the movie.
Yeah. Back then, I think I was more into, we were so gaga over Shaun. I was just more into, that's Shaun Cassidy.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention to the message.
I was still glued to that is Shaun. But yeah, I don't know. I had mixed feelings. I was kind of confused my brain was confused with this teen idol acting this way in this movie.
I'm not ashamed to say it. I didn't like it because it was outside of my comfort zone for how I wanted to see Shaun.
And I didn't want Shaun to be teased because he was playing this role.
Right.
Because this person in real life was being teased for sure. And now he's playing this role. Is he going to be teased?
And I remember getting older, and like they said, that movie is not readily available everywhere.
No.
But I started growing up, and I'm like learning with my charitable work I do and everything, learning more about people with different abilities and things. I'm like, I really want to see like normal people again to watch it now from that perspective.
Yes.
Couldn't find it.
Well, you can't find it on the YouTube. I encourage people to go watch it again now.
Yes, it's on YouTube. I
Yes.
just watched it last night.
We watched it on YouTube. Yeah, it's available there. I encourage people to go watch it again and really see what the change was.
Yes. If you haven't seen Like Normal People in decades, like Cindy and I hadn't,
Do it again.
Watch it now and think about how you felt then and how you feel today.
Right. And let us know in the comments, too, if you've come across this at all in your lifetime or know somebody who had this issue.
Maybe one of you have a child who was born with a different ability. And maybe you want to share or let us know in the comments your life, how that affected, or if you know someone.
Yeah.
And like we said, it's lots of years later.
Yeah, it's come a long way.
Things have changed a whole
lot. Yeah, a long way. And we keep learning, even though we've come a long way. We keep learning more and more every day. And the disability community, I don't know. I think I think it's pretty good right now. I think they are really independent.
They are.
And they have a lot of support. And You just help
Well,
them through life.
we have places here. Every state, every city, every village has something.
Yeah.
And the one that stands out to me is called Lamb's Farm.
Oh, yes, we have that.
That's the one for people with the different abilities. And they go and they make cookies. They sell their cookies.
They take care of animals there,
They
too.
take care of animals.
It's a little
you
animal
can go
farm.
in the summer and it's like a petting zoo
Yes.
and walk around and buy from their shops and everything.
And they all work there.
And it supports them because they work there
Right.
and live there.
So it's full circle.
Yes.
This is their job, but it helps them. And for the disabled.
I want to give a quick shout out to Linda Pearl. Way to go. She did a great job on that.
They did great research on this, too. They were with the couple, the actual couple, Roger and Virginia.
Yeah.
They spent some time with them to study for this role.
Linda, if you're listening, we'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, Linda. Please reach out to us. We would love to talk about this role you had.
Shaun Squad Society at gmail.com.
Thanks, guys. We had a good show today.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you from the bottom of our teen dream hearts. Keep on crushing.
Always believe in magic.
And have a peaceful, Shauntastic week. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and subscribe to our new YouTube page.
Make sure to keep in touch with us at our email, ShaunSquadSociety@gmail.com.
The Shaun Squad Society podcast, including past, present, and future versions, and its contents are owned and controlled by the Shaun Squad Society. The podcast is written, produced, and recorded at the Borden Studios, and the views and opinions are solely those of the Shaun Squad Society podcast. We may think we are always right, but we may get things wrong from time to time, so we assume no responsibility for errors of submission of content.